Mikasa Sukasa. You Eddie, right?
Yeah.
Look like Eddie Guerrero, man. You like to watch wrestling?
Yep.
Have you ever watched wrestling? On weed? That's the way to see it, man! It's rock!
What up, world? It's your boy Physics, and you know what time it is. It's May 4th. May the global force wrestling be with you. Welcome to another WoW news joint. On today's episode, we're talking about Stu Grayson and AEW. When it comes to his contract, we're talking about Roderick Strong wanting to be released from WWE. We have some Down news, a new AEW show, and more right after this.
Really? This is my yard now. It doesn't matter what
WoW Nation is in the building. Shout out to Kid. Get money, get that moolah, get those dineros, get them stacks, get them ducats, get that money. Shout out to everybody as part of WoW Nation. Make sure to leave a comment. I do be checking the comment section, so I would definitely right back to if you have any thoughts about what we're talking about today. And with that, let's start the show. And first, we're starting off with Stu Grayson being done with AEW. For now, Wrestling Observer and Fightful Select have confirmed the Dark Order member joins Joey Janela, Jack Evans, and Marco Stunt as wrestlers who have been removed from the AEW roster after their contract expired. Unlike those other names, Grayson is said to have been offered a new contract. The two sides cannot come to an agreement on financials, so he's not with the company right now. The door is still open for a return, provided, of course, they do settle on a right dollar amount. The rest of his Dark Order buddies are still there. Evil Uno said on his Twitter that I'm still here. Stu Grayson, as far as what it seems like, is a very great hand in AEW. They love him for that. Seems like he also kind of has a role as being a mentor to a lot of the younger wrestlers that are there, because I think he's around 38 years old. So wouldn't be surprised if he ends up signing back with them, or he might just take his time and do his own thing. He possibly with making his own name on AEW, and what it seems like, the whole we are contracted workers in AEW doesn't technically mean I can do any other show I want to. You still got to get the okay from AEW. So now he's in that gray space where he's not signed with them, but he can resign. He could technically just go do a bunch of shows and make as much money as he can before he returns to something that is going to be stable. So I wouldn't be surprised if, he's putting out fillers just to make sure, hey, if I can make a good amount of money using, my fame from AEW, then I'm gonna go do that. And then once that well starts to dry up, hey, I can just go right back to AEW and have a stable job. So that would not surprise me at all. Now let's get to our next segment. And Kid Get Money says, not my boy Roddy Strong. He was the best member of Undisputed Era. You might be the only person in the world who will ever say that. But yes, your boy Roderick Strong. Um, when WWE released the 10 people from NXT last week, a lot of fans were surprised to not see Roderick Strong's name on there. At 38 years old, he doesn't fit the company's current development mode. They've shown no interest in calling him up to the main roster and just released the manager of his current stable, which was Michael Bivens, aka Stokely Hathaway. It wasn't only the fans who were surprised, according to a news report by Fightful Select. There were those inside who expected Roddy's name to be on last Friday's list, in part because he asked the company to let him out of his contract multiple times over the past several months. Per Fightful, he's been told the company has creative plans in place for him. Strong was rumored to have re-signed with WWE last summer before the reboot, with big plans as part of the deal. What are those? It doesn't say, but WWE did pitch him on a name change, and of course, he turned it down. Guess we'll find out either when Strong is released as part of additional cuts, because there are rumors that it might be happening soon, or as the storyline plays out on the screen. Now, what would we do with Roger Strong? I feel like other than putting an NXT belt on him, I don't feel like there's anything else left for him. The only thing I can see happening is putting him with Judgment Day, put him with Damian Priest, put him with Edge, and we have another older wrestler because Damian Priest ain't a young cat, but another older wrestler, him going there with the buzz cut, running around with Edge and Damian Priest, and I think it'd be great. Especially with he's the back-breaking god. Um, with his type of move set and the type of energy he can bring as a heel running around with him, I think that would be perfect. Other than that, I have no idea what type of major plans they could have for him. It doesn't really make sense because he really doesn't fit the mold of NXT 2.0. So unless you're going to give him the main belt, have him have a nice little run with it for a while, or go to NXT UK and run with the belt for a while, it only seems like they're keeping him there to make sure he doesn't go to AEW. Because that just would seem like the logical thing. He'd be there with his boys. He would automatically be a part of a big storyline. But I feel like if he went over there, he would pretend to be a part of them, and then he would turn on them, and then he would side with whoever he would need to side with. Because that would be the twist. Because they did the thing in NXT, he comes over there and be like, y'all left me, and that would be his beef with Adam Cole. So you left me there. And that would be it. But we will see what's gonna happen on. I interested to see what they considered major storylines. He's not at the main roster now, and even if he did, would he even be wrestling? I mean, they took LA Knight, who's a really good hand in wrestling and really good on the mic, and I wouldn't mind seeing like Cody Rhodes versus LA Knight, and it just seems like, oh, we're gonna put him as a manager because he can talk. It's like they want you to have the ability to talk, but if you talk too good, you're gonna be a manager. So if you can wrestle and talk, you can only be one. Like one of the many stupid things about WWE. So that's just where we are right now with things. Moving on, because we didn't have that much in news, and some things might be dropping sometime soon, but until then, I'll just keep an eye out just in case something crazy happens while we're doing this. AEW apparently has a new TV show in the works and it's coming to TBS. The Ringleaders.tv site, which is owned by Warner Media, issued an email to members today to gauge feedback on the potential name of an AEW series. In the email, it said a new AEW show will be premiering soon on TBS. We want to know what you think season 1 should be named. Let us know your thoughts. We can't wait to hear what you have to say. The email stated they didn't say what the show was or what it was going to be about. So how are you going to properly name something if you have no idea what it's going to be called? The email then listed the following potential names for fans to vote on, and it's AEW to the top, AEW Fight to the Finish, AEW All Access, AEW Breakout, AEW Uprise, AEW The Climb, To the Mat, Road to the Belt, Friends and Enemies, On the Ropes, Grit and Glory. It was noted by Fightful Select that there have been numerous pitches up for AEW-related reality shows with some of the wrestlers, and that Darby Allin has already filmed content for them. There are other AEW talents who have filmed content for Scissor Reels, and at one point there was interest in Adam Cole, Britt Baker, and Swerve Strickland. No other details were provided on this new series, and AEW has announced plans for a new show as of this story. In the comments, let us know what you think the show will be. And after that, which name would you pick out of all of the names I just mentioned? From what it seems like it's going to be a mix of reality TV and wrestling. So you're going to have wrestlers possibly doing their day-to-day life and everything they're trying to do. And you mix in the storylines of what's going on in wrestling and what they need to do to, you know, their beats with certain wrestlers, kind of like what they were kind of doing in the beginning with a lot of the vignettes of, their home, they're working out, and now they're coming to the ring and stuff like that. It feels like they're trying to meld a little bit of reality with what's going on in the ring, and that's what these shows are going to be. This show is going to be, because it's like The Climb, Fight to the Finish, Friends and Enemies, like Road to the Belt. So it's not just a regular reality TV series. It feels like it's going to be a mix of the wrestling storylines and actual real life coming together to show something about that. Kid Get Money says AEW show should be a remake of Roads to the Top featuring Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti. I would not watch that. They're too young. And I can only imagine what crazy and stupid things they'll be talking about and what type of unnecessary arguments, because they're too young and they're not stable in their relationship. And that could be one of the many things that makes them break up. So that is the last thing I want to see. Now let's get to some really good news, and let's end with some good news, and that is Up, Up, Down, Down is back. It had been more than a month since any content was uploaded on Xavier Woods / Austin Creed's Up, Up, Down, Down YouTube channel. It had been 4 months since we've seen anything other than the WWE 2K22 related videos. Why? For one thing, a lot of Woods collaborators are no longer with WWE. That goes Tyler Breeze, Adam Cole, Cesaro. He's the only remaining member of the Uno playing quartet known as The Party. Other China regulars as Dakota Kai, Jessamine Duke, and the reigning Up, Up, Down, Down champ Mia Yim have also been released. For another, reports indicated Woods and other Up, Up, Down, Down contributors were holding out in an effort to ensure he would see better money from WWE. The company owns the channel, but Woods is the creator, promoter, and host. Despite that, he was said to be getting little to nothing for his efforts, and that's a lot of work to be constantly putting up content. Obviously, you see, it's a lot of work here, and we ain't even getting little to nothing for this. On Monday, a countdown started to begin, and it was announced on Up, Up, Down, Down that the channel is back. And with that, I think today they put up the new episode. It was supposed to be a special guest, and that special guest for today's episode, because I can look at it right now. No, just him right now doing WWE 2K, creating himself. But he's back. And that's all that we need right now. And it's gonna be kind of interesting to see what they do next and what games they're gonna play, because Up Down Down is very entertaining when he's going against people and when it's not just him. So we'll see where we go from next. But let's get down to some quick news. According to WrestleVote, WWE has discussed another Stand and Deliver event for one of the three big stadium shows happening this summer. They heard the preference is UK for Clash at the Castle, but Nashville/SummerSlam seems more likely. All to be determined still. But if I had my choice, you would do the UK one. They're gonna go crazy for that. They didn't do quite well with the last Stand and Deliver, but I feel like if you do NXT versus NXT UK Stand and Deliver, it would go great. So, and then throw in some wrestlers from WWE in there just to up it up just a bit, you can sell out a show. So I feel like if you're going to do it, that's the best way to do it. Ringside News claims that WWE releases are being kept quiet and even creative hasn't been let in on them until they happen. So if you got a storyline, it ain't safe, as a Fat Joe album would say. PW Insider says Shame is not being used on a European tour over the weekend was to give Butch more ring time and not related to any kind of injury issues. 5 Foot Select says San Antonio is the front runner for the Royal Rumble 2023 event. I guarantee you we're going to get a lot of Skin in the Cat and a lot of Shawn Michael references. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dean Meltzer said the use of non-title on Raw this week was a mistake because we all know that word is banned. Per Fight for Select, WWE originally planned Tommaso Ciampa versus Finn Balor for main event this week, but then it changed and it's unclear why. And after Dark Side of the Ring wasn't listed on Vice's TV's 2022-2023 programming slate, rumors went around the show had been canceled. However, Vice tweeted they are committed as ever to the show and franchise. Wrestling Observer newsletter says Dark Side creators Evan Husney and Jason Eisner are working on the Dwayne Johnson produced series Jim Ross recently mentioned. That project covering pro wrestling's territories is also for Vice. So what it looks like is they're going to take a break from Dark Side of the Ring. We're not going to see it for the 2022-2023 programming slate, but whatever this show is about wrestling territories that's being produced by The Rock is what we're going to see instead. And then the following year, we'll get another Dark Side of the Ring. These are documentaries, just take time. It also, you got to have people willing to speak. So it gives them enough wiggle room to find more stories that they can actually use. And they could just technically use any stories that they're getting from doing this series because they're going to have everybody there. So we will see. Now let's talk about what's going on in the world of wrestling tonight. And tonight's AEW Dynamite on TBS will air live from the Chesapeake Employers Insurance Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, as the road to Double or Nothing continues. AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page is expected to be back this week after missing the last Wednesday show due to COVID. He is currently feuding with CM Punk for their main event title match at Double or Nothing. AEW has announced the following lineup for tonight's shows, and that is the Varsity Blondes call out the House of Black, the Blackpool Combat Club, Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, and the ROH Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta versus the Butcher, the Blade, and Angelico. We got Warlord versus MJF's mysterious opponent, and you can't teach that. Chris Jericho versus Santana in a grudge match. The Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Deonna Purrazzo versus the Ring of Honor Interim Women's World Champion Mercedes Martinez to determine the undisputed champion. We have Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Fish in a qualifying match for the Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament, and another Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament qualifying match, which is Rey Fenix versus Dante Martin. Also, I feel like we also got news from Tony Khan today that we're going to have another women's qualifying match, and it should be the return of Rio. Yep. Nope. That is for Friday. Rio's going to be there on Friday and making her return for Rampage. That won't be tonight, but it's going to be Stack. Kid Get Money says, I want to see Enzo, not Morrissey. And it feels like, man, you're running on like a sleep. I don't know what's going on, but I pray for you. Hope everything's okay at home. Stay in there, man. Hang in there. You got this, champ. But as Kid Get Money gets his affairs together, I want to thank y'all for watching this. You could have been anywhere else in the world. I'm your boy Physics. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on Friday. Until then, peace.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to know when we go live next. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Wrestling on We, and thanks for watching.